I tried everything to enjoy work, and these 3 tips naturally helped me enjoy it even more. I'm going to talk about the 3 tips that have saved my life in any job that I had, whether it was remote or on site in any industry. And when I went by these 3 tips, I was able to save my job and not quit. More importantly, even more so if you don't enjoy your job, if you do these 3 things, I promise you will at least last in your job way longer than most people. So why am I going to talk about this today? Well, because let's face it, 80 to 90% of Americans hate their job. And some of them can't quit. It's not as easy to work online. I work remotely online for the last 7 years. I've built up these skill sets to do that. And even working remotely and living in Spain by the beach, I'm loving my life. It's still sometimes hard, and I also want to quit. Now, before I get into the tips, ask yourself, close your mind, close your eyes, and ask yourself, what do I hate about my job? And what do I need to do to not hate my job? This mental exercise of what can I replace the negative thought with a positive is the tip number 1 that will save you. If I hate my job, my boss particularly, I say, okay, but what do I love about my boss? Or what do I love about my job? And I say, but I love the work. I don't like my boss. I love the work. For every negative thought, here's a trick. Try to do 2 positive thoughts. You could justify the reason why you're working, and you could actually survive each day, one day at a time. And tip number 2, start making a plan. If you really don't like your job, it's okay to start interviewing. It's okay to start networking. Join a local chamber, join a global organization, get a mentor, have an exit strategy. When I was at a hotel, I wanted to leave. I was a manager and I said, okay, I'm going to leave in 6 months. And I was planning for it. I was planning so much so that my boss knew I was going to leave. I didn't tell anybody I was leaving, but she said, you should leave. And the cool thing is that she supported me in it, because in those 6 months I was so positive because I had an exit strategy. That actually helped me have peace at work, but also accomplish my dream. I went to the Middle East and became a self-taught journalist only because I had a plan to leave. Think about plans and you didn't have the deadline. How did that go for you? And number 3, the most important thing is to do something great for yourself before you start your shift or before you go to work. I used to work as an executive assistant in Manhattan and I hated my job. So I would bike from Brooklyn over the Brooklyn Bridge, because I love the Brooklyn Bridge, to get to work, and I was fired up on endorphins, and then the work began and I had to make copies and schedule appointments, but I was so focused and happy because I had this great exercise and I had a great morning. It helps to wake up earlier to create that space for the morning. And guess what? I had to bike back. On top of that, I would go to a Zoom class or yoga class just to kind of get rid of that negative energy from the day. And then I had a peaceful ride back over the Brooklyn Bridge. So I would get home at 8 or 9 and have dinner. And I didn't do this every day because it's intense workout. Having that peaceful, calm, exciting morning before my job has greatly affected my mental health. And I'm curious, have you ever done this yourself? Because what have you noticed? Because it informs what you are interested in, and then I could think about how to make these videos for you and make them even better. I really appreciate you, and let's see, what am I going to talk about in the next episode? Is, in addition to this, I'm going to talk about the 1 trick that I did to enjoy my job. Especially this has helped me when I hated it. Now, I talked about the tips, but I'm going to talk about a trick that I'm sure you haven't done because it's so simple, yet we forget to do it. Stick around for the next episode because I'll talk about it. And as always, do the best that you can every day.